You want to be recorded?
Okay, everybody, thanks for coming. What we're going to talk about is that you've been financially successful and still feel like something's missing. And the something missing pain is really painful. And you don't want to continue with that something missing pain. The cause of the something missing pain is that you have a vision problem. There's 3 ways to understand the vision problem so you can begin to make a shift in it and start moving forward in the right direction. The first thing is to discover if it's your vision or not, or have you taken on somebody else's belief system? The second thing that's important is to look at your vision and identify if it's for anybody else, or is it self-absorbed and just for you? The third thing is to identify if your vision is important enough to you, where you're willing to do whatever it takes to realize it. There's 2 things you can do right away to find and move forward towards the vision that you've always wanted to fulfill. The first thing is to think really big. If it's too small, it's not really a vision. It's not really what you want. The second thing, and this is really important, is to schedule 30 minutes a day with yourself for 7 days. And what you're going to do is you're going to ask yourself a simple question. What do I want? What's my vision? The answer will not be your vision. The answer that you're giving yourself will be the thing you're supposed to do right away. And then you do that thing. If you do this for 7 days, you'll feel a dramatic shift and a surge of energy. If you do this for 30 days, you're going to change your life. And when you change your life, you no longer feel that sense of something missing. And that's what we all want. And it is inevitable when you pick the right vision and no longer feel that sense of something missing, that it will happen. So now you've heard from the intellectual. Let's go to the outlaw.
I didn't name myself that. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. If it doesn't pay all of your bills, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. There is no philosophy without farming. So if you're not eating, if you're struggling to survive, there's no time to think over these big picture issues. I asked my father what his master plan was for his life. He got married and had 3 kids. He said there was no plan because he came from poverty. So you can't get into thinking about bigger picture visions when you're just trying to survive. Yeah. Oh, in regards to vision, if you're not working your ass off on your business, that could be one of 2 things. Either you're not actually that passionate about the thing that you say you are passionate about, or it could be that you're super passionate about what you do and it's just not working. So you're extremely intelligent, you're extremely hardworking, but you're stressed out because you're working your ass off and it's not working. So it's either you don't really have a full passion for that, or you just don't know what you're doing. Stop it with relationship building if you're trying to make money. It's all about relationships, no like and trust, and go giver. If I'm just a good person, I will make lots of money. No, you won't. Not necessarily. Are you money focused? Are you operating with intention? Are you running business meetings? The first thing to do is research people before you meet with people. So check out their LinkedIn, check out their website, check out their social media, make sure you know who you're meeting with before you meet with them, identify the things they're doing really well, and the places where they need to improve. On your calendar survey, make sure that you're asking the right questions for the services or product that you provide. 3 really important questions to have on your calendar survey. Number 1, what is your current status? Number 2, what barriers are you currently facing? Number 3, what does outrageous success look like for you in 6 months from now? Because you want to run business meetings, not get to know you meetings. Do lots of people like you? And are you really well known, but you're broke? That means you're doing this stuff wrong. You've been told the wrong stuff and you've bought into the wrong stuff. So here's how to run a business meeting. First minute, form rapport. I see you played tennis in high school. So did I. I see you traveled around a lot. Was your mom or dad in the military? Just pick one fun fact from their stupid profile and point it out. Something that's interesting that you can relate to. 2 minutes, add massive value. What does it mean to add massive value? It means to say things where people take pen to paper, where what you're saying is so useful that they're actually writing down what you're saying. If you're saying shit, nobody's writing anything down, you're not saying anything useful. So then before you add massive value, give them input on their website, their social media, or their LinkedIn. Before you do that, you have to ask permission. So you have to say, Judy, is it cool if I give you some feedback? Because the subconscious is adolescent. So when you give people unsolicited advice, the subconscious goes, no, 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 I don't want to hear that. When you ask permission, it puts that person in charge, or subconsciously makes them feel like they're in charge because they gave you permission to give input. So 1 minute, form rapport, 2 minutes, add value. The next 8 minutes, they talk. While they're talking, you're taking little handwritten notes about their pain points. Then 8 minutes, you talk, incorporating their specific needs in an interwoven way. So you're taking the stuff you learned from researching them, you're taking the stuff you learned from the calendar survey answers, and you're taking information from the 8 minutes where they were talking, and you're feeding that all them back. You're feeding all of that back to them. People will tell you how to sell them. So if you're pitching people right now and people say, that sounds good, it means you're doing a horrible fucking job. They should be saying, that sounds like it was made for me, or I need to hire you. That's when you've incorporated a lot of their specific needs. So if you're giving a generic pitch, you're only going to be potentially lucking into money. And there's people that luck into 30,000, 50,000, and even 100,000 a year because they're very smart and they're very likable. And if they're like Suzanne, they're very pretty. And you can still make 100 grand a year without having a process for closing deals because people like you. But if you want to consistently make money, you need to have processes for doing that. So Larry's right, having a broad vision for what you need, what you want, where you're going, that's my interpretation of the word vision, is really important. And you can't get to that higher level of thinking until you're actually paying all your bills off your business. And if you're not paying all your bills off your business, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. There you go.
The opposite is true. What's true is that vision is the most practical thing in the world. The vision leads to money. Thinking about money and focusing on money leads to not making money. When you go into the marketplace with a focus on how do I make money right away, you're not going to make money. When you go into the marketplace with an understanding of why am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? Who is this specifically for? And what is the impact of this in a major way on them? You have brought a vision into the world. It's also possible, and we seem to have trouble with this, that two things are true at the same time. There is no conflict between making a ton of money and making a major impact in the world. None. The problem is the order. If you start with money, it won't work even if it works. This is the secret to this right here. If you want to get what you want, you have to know what you want. It's not the money. The money is a byproduct of getting what you want. Why do we go after the money? Why do we go after what we think we want? Because we are operating from a vantage point where we've taken on someone else's belief system. And that's why we don't get what we want when we get what we want. I built a 7-figure business. I got to $100,000 a month into the beginning of the second year. 8 years later, September 20th of 2020, I looked up and I said, why do I feel awful all the time? It's because it wasn't my vision. Then I learned over the next few years, because I didn't know what I was doing, how to come up with my own vision, figure out what it is, and execute it in the world. And then the money comes exactly as it's supposed to and when it's supposed to in exactly the right amount.
You can be rich and miserable if you don't love what you're doing. If you do what you love for a living, you never work a day in your life. So I work, quote unquote, 16 to 19 hours a day. I never feel like I'm working at all because it's fun. Everything that I'm doing, I'm having fun right now. I'm always having fun. All fucking day long, I'm having fun. Riding my bike, I'm having fun. Social media, having fun. Talking shit, presenting, running networking events. It's all fun. I had a client. So let me talk about why Larry is kind of right and kind of wrong first. If you have the desire to make friends, and if you're going to networking events making friends, then you're going to be a very popular, potentially poor person. So if your intention is not correct, business is first about making money. Of course, you need a product that people want to buy. You have to be solving a problem for people. You can't sell something nobody wants. And if you have the wrong intention, if you don't have the intention of doing business, you're going to be a very popular poor person. And if you want to help people because you're a people pleaser, that's very nice. I want to help people too. First, you pay me a lot of money and then I help you. But first, we get the business deal done. If you help people too much without charging money, they're going to think that you're worthless because you're presenting, if you're selling intellectual property, right? You're selling your knowledge and wisdom to people. If you give away too much of it without charge, you're saying that it's not valuable. And then you're getting resentful and angry at those people who are not hiring you because you're saying they don't know what I'm worth. You've told them you're not worth any money. So provide 30 minutes adding massive value. Don't try to sell anything. And then either they hire you or they don't hire you after that. Working 12 hours a day, there's 24 hours in the day. If you sleep for 8, that leaves 16. If you work 12, you still get to screw around 4 hours every single day. A real life example I have is a client of mine who was horrible for the first 3 weeks because she said she thought she was doing all this for me. And once she had the paradigm shift of she was doing it for herself, it became very easy. So if you really love what you're doing, you really do have a clear vision for your work, you're extremely passionate about your work, you think it's extremely valuable, you really help a lot of people out, putting in the hours should not be a struggle. If it is, again, being redundant intentionally, either it's really not your true passion or you just don't know what you're doing.
Before we get everybody into the conversation, we'll go for a few more minutes. Gandhi, Oprah, and Richard Branson, for example, were not out there trying to make friends. It's not about trying to make friends. It's about making an impact. Part of making an impact in business is to offer value in an exchange. Costs a lot of money to work with me too. That's why I work with people who are financially successful already, and feel like something's missing, because that's where I can add the most value. There is a financial exchange for that. It's not free. I'm out there adding value for free to move towards that when the right people are ready, but making an impact regardless in the world, in the way that I want. That's giving. And that's really important because it's not about you. You will never get what you want in your life if you are focused on, this is the thing I need for me because I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel safe. I want to feel secure. The problem with money is when the motivation to get the money is security and safety. If you want security and safety, you shouldn't get money. You shouldn't. You should learn how to feel secure and safe without having any money at all and not feeling like you need it. That is called freedom. And
All
that's
right.
what we really want.
I agree with everything you just said.
Oh my God, we agree. So that means we got to bring everybody else into the conversation, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got 15 minutes and then we're going to do 2 breakout room rounds of 15 minutes each. So you can meet each other, which is important here as well. I also want to mention that we're going to stay on for another 30 minutes for anybody who wants to stay and hang out. And that's it. So let's do hand raising and then we'll go in order of hands. Say whatever you want. Ask a question, give your opinion. There's a lot of smart people in the room. That's the idea.
There are no stupid questions, only stupid people. They don't ask questions. Come on, rock and roll. Let's go. What's up,
Florian? I knew Florian was gonna. Florian is not shy.
And he's French.
And he's French. I don't know
And
what
he's
that
French.
means.
That's probably not an advantage here, but yes, I'm French. Anyway, so guys, thank you very much. I'm really glad I'm here today. It's been months since you started this, right? Or at least weeks, and I didn't have the opportunity yet to be here. And you spoke about vision many times. I'm really curious, how do you define your vision?
Yeah.
Because there is a link between vision and passion. Apparently, what's the link? How do you define the vision, and how do you know when you're not in your space of passion and you're not actually working towards your vision? That's many questions.
Yeah, it's a great question. So the beginning is mission. Mission is the energy source. So mission is, what am I here to do? Essentially, what is the core of me, who I am and always will be? And there's 12 options, basically. I have a map of this, which we're not going to go through right now. And there's 4 quadrants. What I can speak about quickly is the quadrants of mission. So there's the magical creator, and there's 3 different versions of that. There's the powerful the powerful force. This is someone who wants to move something from one place to another. There's the analyzing organizer. This is someone who wants to build an infrastructure and a system. And then there's the supporting anchor. And this is somebody who wants to make the people move and make the people work. You got to know your mission, or the vision won't work. It won't connect. If you feel malaise, if you feel kind of unhappy, you have a mission problem, not a vision problem. My mission is exploration, magical creator, exploration, thinking. Now, vision needs to be consistent. There is a lane for vision. Again, there's 12 options in 4 quadrants. I won't go through the details because we're going to run out of time. When you think about vision, the first thing is to figure out what type of vision fits for me. You have to pick the right type and you have to stay in that lane. That's very important. My vision lane is all about telling the truth. Truth teller. If my vision does not line up with truth telling and come from energy around exploration and thinking, it will not work. If it does, it is guaranteed to be successful 100% the way I want it to be when it's time for it to happen. And the energy will always be there. The flow will always be there. And the excitement will always be there without exception. The next step is specificity, and that's called vision intent. What is my intent specifically? And I call that a vision statement. So I won't get into the details of the vision statement. The vision statement is the kind of thing you'd read Gandhi writing down, or Oprah, or somebody like that, because you are like them. You are them. I am them. We all are able to do this. So we all have that vision statement we can pull out. Now there's more to the execution phase. But when you get there and you have that vision statement, you've completed the vision piece. The vision pain is the pain of something's missing. That's a vision pain.
All right, I had a different answer.
Yeah.
I'd say vision. I feel like that was very philosophical in my undergrads in philosophy, but I feel like what I wrote down before Larry spoke, for me, seems much more practical than visionary on the vision. So I think the vision is your greatest purpose. Why do you exist? What is the meaning of your particular life? However you decide to define that. I'd say you're on path if when you're doing work, you don't feel like you're working. If you're doing work and it's not fun, you're probably not on path, I would guess. And then I don't even have a purpose to my existence anymore. I did for 30 years. I was trying to create a democracy with a free press and an educational system in the United States. I became an attorney and an executive with the state and found out there's no hope in the system or outside of the system to create change. And then I was intellectually suicidal for a couple of years, not chemically. And then I just make a lot of money and help a lot of people now and have fun. And I guess one person said to me that I'm still living a purpose because I'm still empowering others, but it's not like a grand vision or a grand purpose to my existence. Just, drive the twin turbo, own a mountain, have fun, be happy, work out, do yoga, help others. But I don't really feel like I have that. And the guy from Dirty Jobs, he wrote a book about people get lost in the idea of having a grand vision and a grand purpose, and then they don't just work at the sewage facility plant and make $150,000 a year, because we've all been told to dream and dream big. And I don't know, at this point in my life, after 2 years of contemplating killing myself, with that, because of losing the hope of the purpose, I still found a way to be extremely happy, even though the world's a horrible place and I don't have a grand vision for my existence. Ruben.
Wait, hold on. I want to respond to that. There's confusion around practicality. This is the most practical thing in the world because it's specific. The vision is for other people, and there's a way to get to that, which I haven't explained yet, and that could be working at the sewage treatment plant. When you discover yourself, and there's 5 ways to get to yourself, it is going to lead to the right vision, which will always happen, which could be a service vision. That is a vision option. And if that is your option, if your option is to go help people who are struggling for no money or very little money, you will know it's right. And it's practical because you will know exactly what to do. Ruben.
Okay, you guys say so much. All right, initially what grabbed my attention right away was that we end up following other people's visions. I was a boxer for like most of my life, like 13 till I was 30 years old, high level, became a Navy SEAL for like 10 years, got into sales, mortgages, real estate, financial services. Always have been a good producer, but I'm been trying to develop a team for a long time. And I just, till recently, am I getting people that are, that seem to be more receptive to what I'm offering, which I'm jumping all into that. But that was my question. How do you get, I'm really good in everything you're talking about. I think about what we did in the SEAL teams. You plan things to the nth degree, every little detail, every little contingency, you dive it till you're doing it in your sleep, and then you go do it. And I've always said the ability to get 16 guys on the same page at the same time doing the same thing is just like, you can make great things happen. And I just had a real struggle doing that ever since I got out of the military. And so what are you doing? How are you getting other people to catch the vision?
Yep. I'll explain this. So it takes 8 weeks to get to the point where you are on that trajectory and 100% in positive motion forward. There's really 8 kind of steps for me. Sajad's got his own approach to do this. And when you get into step 4, you start with blueprint, which is the makeup inside you that will make the biggest impact. And you understand that clearly. Then the next step is where. This is a grouping of people that have a shared desire. That's called a market. When you identify the grouping of people who have a shared desire out of your natural blueprint and inclination, they will know you are for them automatically. Automatically. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to plan anything. Planning is not necessary. It gets in the way. The third thing you want to do is get to people. Who are those people specifically, and what is the conversation going on inside their head? There's a 5-step approach to get to that, and I'm not going to get into that right now here. The approach, though, gets you a pathway in to their mind and their desire and the belief system that's not true, that's going on inside their head. If you have a big enough vision, so we get into week 5, you're creating offers in a product that unlocks the key inside their mind for their vision. No matter what you're selling, it doesn't matter what you're selling. So they will know automatically they're for you. It's practical and specific.
Okay, so you're talking about the subconscious. I run up against this all the time. I get somebody so excited, do the follow-up 24 hours later, and they're not the same person.
All right.
And I can't put the toothpaste back in
Let's
that
get
tube.
Sujat in. This is not something we can really get into in any depth in a call like this, because we have 3 minutes before we go to the first breakout room. But I will tell you, it is 100% possible to do this.
All right,
and
let
when
me
you do it, they will know you're for them. Sujat.
Frank Agan's story. A couple of years ago, he told me this. It blew up my business. It's a real life story. If you've heard me speak, you've heard me say this story a million times before. There's a guy at the hardware store. He teaches bathroom remodeling, do-it-yourself bathroom remodeling every Saturday, 1 hour. 10 people show up. He teaches you the 10 steps and where to buy all the products. After the 1 hour presentation on do-it-yourself bathroom remodeling, 7 out of the 10 people hire him. The moral of the story is give away everything you know for free.
Yeah.
Because people hire people for help with implementation, not information. Add massive value everywhere you go, meaning that whether you do a social media post, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you do a presentation, you do a podcast, you are giving people information where they can take pen to paper. They are writing down what you're saying while you're talking. I give away my program for free all the time. It doesn't matter. I still get lots of people who hire me. So if you're an expert, stop saying you're a fucking expert and show that you're an expert by giving it all away. You meet with people all the time that say they're an expert and you say, okay, give me 3 tips. They can't give you 3 tips. That person is not an expert. And if they're too afraid to give it away, they're already a fraud. Take massive action. So reading, researching, analyzing, and creating are not taking massive action. Those are not money-making activities. I'm on point. I always got it. Do money-making activities. You're going to suck no matter how long you spend analyzing. As soon as you launch your program, it's going to be horrible. And if you're rapidly evolving, a year ago, I've been doing this over 10 years now. A year ago, I sucked. And a year from now, I'm going to say a year ago, I sucked. And 2 years ago, I really sucked. 10 years ago, I really, really sucked. So put yourself out there, start selling, and do the work, and you'll learn through teaching, right? Lastly, close on the first call while they're emotional. It doesn't mean be a used car salesman, but when people walk away from the first call, they're thinking, I don't know if I want to work with Ruben.
I'm taking the last minute. I'm interrupting and taking the last minute. When you get that 30 minutes a day and you get those answers about what to do those things. They will make you feel uncomfortable. If you're not feeling uncomfortable doing those things, you're not really listening. We got more second. Go. We got another second.
Yeah, close on the first call. When they walk away from you, they're going to be thinking, do I really want to work with him? Do I really have the time for this right now? Can I really afford this? Their kid's going to get sick. They're going to get a car.
All right. Breakout rooms.
Go, let's go.
Have fun, 15 minutes. We'll come back.